snatched it up like a loaf of bread with one hand. USC against UCLA. Both these teams need some help, or Washington State is going to win the Pac-10. But they still have a chance, still in the hunt. When you got Carson Palmer, that's a pretty big hunt. 51 yards to carry Colbert here. USC has a 14-0 lead. The game is not even 5 minutes old. Palmer again. This time he runs out of the pocket, spots an opening, takes it down the sidelines, 22 yards. He gets this one to the 1-yard line before he's flipped over. Justin Fargas would score from there, the transfer from Michigan, and USC has a 28-7 lead. Carson Palmer now has 3 touchdown passes. Manuel White has a touchdown run for UCLA, but USC in command of this one at halftime. Some of you are watching that game. Kansas State against Missouri. Kansas State has quietly put together a terrific season. Terrence Newman fields this punt, backs up inside the 30, and then how quickly does he bust the seam before he finds the sidelines and takes it all the way untouched, 7-0. Darren Sproles also has a touchdown run as Kansas State has upped the lead to 17-0. Some of you are watching this game as well. But, Terry, you talk about Kansas State. 9-2, they come out of nowhere, and Coach Snyder's put together another terrific year.
John, they're the hottest team in the country. They are so good. They're outstanding on offense. They're outstanding on defense. They've got a huge double threat. If you don't stop their quarterback, Eli Roberson, they're going to kill you with Darren Sproles. They've got so much going for them. They are playing exceptionally well.
Al Roberson, of course, last week had about 250 yards on the ground. Michigan State, well, they're a team that is not hot. But this guy, Joe Paterno, in his 70s, running like a youngster here. Larry Johnson, running like a big-time youngster. Look at this. He just bowls people over, takes it with him. He has gone over 2,000 yards for the season. And for the 4th time this year, he's gone over 200 yards in a game. That's Zach Mills from 5 yards out. But not enough has been said about Larry Johnson. He now has 4 touchdown runs. But clearly, he's burst onto the scene late, but I think with enough to win the Heisman.
Well, you know, I never thought Joe Paterno would do it, but earlier this week, we heard him push him for the Heisman. He never has done that. You know he meant something, but this is outstanding. If he gets over the 2,000-yard mark, and it looks like it's going to be a walk in the second half.
No, he's already over the 2,000 mark, as a matter of fact. Auburn against Alabama, a game you know something about, Terry. Jason Campbell will set things up. This is a tough game. People don't realize how much these schools do not like each other. Jason Campbell, 14 yards to Robert Johnson. Some poor tackling out there. Gets it in, 7-0 lead. And then Jason Campbell again. This one's 11 yards to Robert Johnson. 14-0. Auburn has the lead. 17-0 is the score right now. And Alabama on probation. This would have made their season to beat Auburn.
I guarantee it would have. You could win your conference. You can go to the championship. Alabama's on probation. They can't. They've got to win this game because that's state pride, and that's a game you've got to win. Now, if Auburn holds on and win, they have a chance now to remain in the SEC West as long as they get a loss from either LSU or Arkansas.
Yeah, because Alabama is not eligible. And of course, the winner of this one would face Georgia. Georgia's already the winner in the SEC East. We will continue with more in a moment here of the Capital One Halftime Show from Times Square Stadium. Back to New York in a bit.
Be there for the three-pointers, the in-your-face dunks, and the spectacular buzzer beaters. With the ESPN Full Court College Basketball Pay-Per-View package, you get maximum college basketball with more than 450 additional games from top conferences and coverage of the first 2 rounds of the NCAA Women's Tournament. Will you be there? The ESPN Full Court College Basketball Pay-Per-View package. To order, call your local cable company, DirecTV at 1-800-DirecTV or Dish Network at 1-800-333-DISH.
I can't believe this is 17 years of NFL coverage.
Hey, are you ready for this?
Ready for what? What?
Oh, yeah! Happy anniversary, Boomer! 17 years. Boy, it's... Huey Lewis.
Sunday NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
Coming in December, 2 of the nation's premier conferences collide. The ACC.
Maryland wins their first ever national championship.
The Big Ten.
Indiana suddenly lights it up. Sensational, baby.
Only one conference gets the glory. The ACC Big Ten Challenge begins Monday, December 2nd, only on ESPN and ESPN2.
Twirl! Twirl!
Day, presented by Discover Card, Saturdays, 10:30 a.m.
Welcome back to Times Square Stadium and the Capital One Halftime Show. John Saunders alongside of Terry Bowden. One team that was not expected to do very well this year, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, 5-6 a year ago. Tyrone Willingham, though, got the expectations up, and now they feel, despite the loss to Boston College, still a shot at the national championship picture, although got tighter with Ohio State winning today. Carlisle Holiday. Boys, he matured as a quarterback. 63 yards to Arnaz Battle, who's wide open against Rutgers, takes it in 21-0, and Ty Willingham is making history at Notre Dame. Holiday one more time. This is why he's so good as a quarterback right now. He's in all kinds of trouble, runs out of it, but still keeps the presence of mind to look downfield and find an open man. Maurice Stovall in the end zone, 42-0. Carlisle Holiday with 4 touchdown passes in this one, and Notre Dame, that loss to Boston College obviously has hurt them. But just the same, after losing that game, they did not look good against Navy. They're back to where they need to be, setting up next week against USC.
That's right. They were having turnovers, 8 turnovers the last game, and now they're playing much more consistently. Great passing game, much better. Now they're in a position now to go into Southern Cal as a much better playing football team.
And Tyrone Willingham, well, how good has his first season been? Just the best of any head coach in their first year at Notre Dame. No one has won 10, and some pretty impressive names down the road to the bottom. Now, Wisconsin, a team that started 5-0 this year. Hard to believe they needed a victory today against Minnesota to get into a bowl game, but they did, and Anthony Davis came to run. 45 carries, 301 yards, and 5 touchdowns. That ties a school record. This one, 71 yards as Wisconsin outscores Minnesota 49-31. Tennessee against Vanderbilt. Punter Greg Johnson fumbles the ball in the end zone. He gets tackled and covered up. Tennessee has a safety and a 9-0 lead. And then Cedric Houston goes 3 yards in this touchdown run. He had 25 carries for 140 yards as Tennessee knocks off Vanderbilt. More from Times Square in a moment.
The games that became classics. The athletes that became legends. The moments that became history. They're all on ESPN Classic. Explore the best in sports history through programs that take you inside the game, the life, the moment like no one else can. Call your cable or satellite provider and experience ESPN Classic.
On ESPN Classic, every athlete has a story.
You just knew you were in the presence of greatness.
A story that inspires.
He was winning Wimbledon with one hand, then fighting the ills of this world with the other.
That brings us together.
When Magic announced that he had the AIDS virus, Bird broke down and cried.
This is the award-winning Sports Century, 8 p.m. weeknights on ESPN Classic.
Get ESPN Classic. Call your local cable or satellite provider now.
The Capital One Halftime Show, brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
9 good men trapped.
How long we got?
9 young families desperate.
My husband's down there.
Now ABC presents the triumphant American story. The New York Post calls extraordinary. The Pennsylvania Miners story, Sunday 9/8 Central on ABC. Read the book Our Story by the Cue Creek Miners, available where books are sold.
Join us Thanksgiving weekend for college football here on ABC on Friday, the Big 12 at noon. Texas A&M takes on the 11th-ranked Longhorns. Then at 3:30 Eastern Time, number 17 Colorado will face Nebraska. Then on Saturday, we begin at 1. Some of you will see Miami continue their rush for a national championship. Others will see West Virginia and Pittsburgh battle for second place in the Big East. Then in primetime at 8 o'clock, number 13 Florida facing Florida State. Others will see the unbelievable season of Notre Dame continue as they take on USC. Join us Thanksgiving weekend and check local listings for the game available in your area. Right now, let's get back out to your second half.
Halftime here in Columbia. Kansas State leads Missouri 17-0. Stay tuned for the second half kickoff after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Rated E for everyone.
This is what it feels like when I start draining threes. This is what
what you'll see when you bring it in my lane.
This is what it feels like to be dunked on.
This is what it feels like to play in the NBA.
NBA 2K3.
Tracy. Tracy.
What?
What's the story? How about a little hustle?
How about taking it easy?
You think the world revolves around you?
I got a lot of teeth to brush.
You're another pampered athlete. That's... Wally, no! No! Zerbiak! Zerbiak, get out here!
There's a line.
In 1954, in Junction, Texas, Paul Bear Bryant put 115 football players through hell.
We're gonna work now.
You damn near killed my friend!
He ain't quit.
But those who survived lived to become champions.
One heartbeat. That is what we've been looking for ever since we arrived.
ESPN Original Entertainment presents The Junction Boys. Saturday, December 14th, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Hi, everybody. Dick Vitale. Hey, December 17th, the Continental Airlines Arena, the Jimmy V Classic. Gonzaga against North Carolina State at 7 p.m. 9 p.m. Cincinnati and Oregon with their great 1-2 punch. Luke Jackson and Luke Rittenauer. Hey, log on to Ticketmaster now for tickets or call 201-507-8900 or 212-307-7171. Hey, portion of the proceeds benefits the V Foundation for Cancer Research. It's going to be awesome, baby.
For the extra point and the win. Quit moving your hands.
What's the matter, Tom? A little pressure?
Quit it. Snow.
Green Bay.
December.
Lambeau Field.
Come on, pull the trigger. Let's go, Jackson. Pull the trigger, man.
All right, just...
Get a choke? Oh, I guess not.
Sunday NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
Watching college football on ABC Sports, Championship Television.
We're back in Columbia at halftime. 10th-ranked Kansas State with a 17-0 lead over Missouri. Sean McDonough along with David Norrie. We talked early on about how well Kansas State was playing coming into this game, and certainly they continued that, David, in the first half today.
Yeah, they did play well in the first half, and Missouri's going to have to do some things here in the second half. I think primarily get Justin Gage involved. He's got 80 catches on the year, 33 straight games with a reception. Brad Smith has got to start putting the football up down the field, and Justin Smith has to get involved if they're going to come back. The good news is Missouri's come back against some very good teams this year, so they know they have a chance here in the second half, especially at home.
One of the reasons why Justin Gage has not been involved in the offense for Missouri has been Terrence Newman, one of the best cornerbacks in the nation, certainly, and he has shown in this game today that he's a force elsewhere as well, including on special teams. The first score of the game came on a 71-yard touchdown. A punt return for Newman. That made it 7-0. Then after a field goal made it 10-0. Darren Sproles from 12 yards out. That capped the scoring. Newman concluded a terrific half for himself with an interception. We'll take a look at the Pacific Life first half stats. First downs 13-2 in favor of K-State. The total yardage 232-68. And the average field position had a lot to do with it, as Missouri just could not get started, largely because of the outstanding kickoff coverage by Kansas State. And we showed you the numbers in the second quarter. They're also dominant in the third. And that's not good news for Gary Pinkel. Could use any bit of good news. First kickoff of the day for Missouri from Michael Matheny. Taken by Sproles, and he slipped down short of the 20-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 18. Not a great half for Roberson, but he didn't have to do a lot.
Bill Roberson, 6 for 12. That, you know, hitting 50% of his balls. You go back to last year, he only hit 39%. And in the season, hitting about 53. So not a bad first half throwing the football for El Roberson. Usually gets a little bit more involved with his feet.
Sproles, who rushed for 79 yards in the first half on 16 carries. Carries out to the 21. Tackled by C.J. Mosley and Antoine Bynum. So Sproles creeping up on his 8th straight 100-yard rushing game. Which would be a school record. He already has the school record with 7 in a row.
And Sproles and Roberson, not their usual numbers. Certainly not the numbers they had last week against Nebraska, but the great field position hasn't required them to have big numbers.
Roberson took a sturdy hit short of the first down marker at the 27-yard line. James Kinney lowered the boom, the sophomore from Kankakee, Illinois, who is their team leading tackler for the season with 133. Coming in, here's a snapshot of El Roberson from Baytown, Texas, out of Lee High School, the same high school that produced Clint Sterner. Played quarterback at Arkansas, went on to the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys. 3rd down and 1. Sproles has the first down. He drove out to the 31-yard line. Jason Simpson, a redshirt freshman from the Woodlands, Texas.
And when you have a defense like Kansas State's only giving up a little over 11 points a game, you have the luxury of being able to be a little bit more conservative, pound the ball on the ground, and it's just what offensive coordinator Ron Hudson is doing to open up the second half. And I'm sure he cracks a little smile each time they move the chains here in the second half. Time becomes a factor for Missouri.
Play action fake. Man open far side. It's the fullback Victor Mann with a nice move to pick up the first down out to the 45-yard line. R.J. Jones made the tackle. It's the first catch of the season and of his career for Victor Mann, the redshirt freshman from Fort Worth.
And with the successful running game, a great fake in the backfield. That's what set up this pass play to the outside. Nice shape by the running back on the outside. Nice picture for El Roberson to throw the ball to. And once again, they move the chains.
14-yard gain. Roberson to throw again. Down the middle, man wide open. It's the tight end, Thomas Hill. First down deep into Mizzou territory at the 25-yard line. A 30-yard gain. Michael Harden made the tackle.
Kansas State gets 3 tight ends involved in their passing game, but Hill has been the starter this year, and he has been the tight end who has been able to get down the field vertically. And look at the field by the tight end, finding that void, and it was a pretty big void down the center of the football field. And a good job of the secondary from Missouri picking up that tight end on their radar screen.
Another good-looking drive for the Wildcats. Quarterback draw. Roberson into the secondary. First down to the 12-yard line. Atia Ellison made the tackle. 13 more, and Kansas State picking up yardage in big chunks on this opening drive of the second half.
And when Kansas State has success throwing the football, the running game becomes a lot more simple. And El Roberson, I mean, he has that ability to get into the secondary and almost look like a punt return. A great ability to make people miss. And Coach Snyder knows his team has Missouri on the ropes right here.
Sproles speeds down inside the 5. Sean Doyle made the tackle. When you talk about the development of Roberson, I think Wildcat coaches and fans well aware that he's a very talented player, and he always has had a lot of talent. The coaches use the word accountability a lot in the K-State program. You have to be accountable on the field, off the field, and perhaps it came a little too easily for Roberson at the beginning. He didn't have quite the work ethic he needed to really learn the offense and get a grasp of things. And over time, it was demonstrated to him that perhaps he did need to put in a bit more time. And as he has, he's become a better football player. Movement along the line. Keith Wright jumped.
You know, Sean, talking about L. Roberson, and you know, you bring up the term accountability. It's a term that Bill Snyder uses. I think that
prior to the snap, offside with contact on the defense, be half the distance to the goal. The game's sufficient for a first down.
There's a lot of quarterbacks out there that have a lot of talent, and I think many quarterbacks get to a point in their career where they transition to a spot where they know it's time to start taking care of things in practice and off the field, and that's what L. Roberson had to do, and he has just blossomed.
Ayo Saba, who's a short yardage specialist, came in but got nothing. He's a redshirt freshman from Blackwood, New Jersey, who has 7 touchdowns this year and just 30 carries. With that carry, he has 30 for the year. He scored a touchdown on each of the first 3 carries of his career. All of them from 2 yards out, 2 against Western Kentucky and 1 against Louisiana Monroe. Second and goal. 4.5-minute drive and the clock running to begin the second half. Roberson forced to pitch it. And Saba into the end zone for a touchdown. So there's his 8th touchdown of the season. Saba scoring on his 31st carry of the year, 9-play, 82-yard drive.
The option man shows quick. Roberson deals it off. Nice block on the outside by Victor Mann. And just a stroll into the end zone. How about the work of this Kansas State offensive line? I mean, the execution, nobody calls them a dominant offensive line. I think they're dominant in terms of their execution.
Joe Ream adds the extra point.
Kick is good.
And the Wildcats pick up right where they left off in the first half. Now 24-0 K-State.
ABC Sports Championship Television.
Now, your first source for round-the-clock sports news is even better. The new ESPN News. A brand new look with the enhanced bottom line that's always on and lets you know what's ahead. Constant score updates and live in-game stats. Highlights, news conferences, analysis, and more. The new ESPN News is here.
You know, we at ESPN were always complaining about how there weren't any good places for sports fans to eat.
Look, it's a hairnet, it's the law, all right?
So we opened ESPN Zone. Non-stop sports coverage. Tons of cool games. And really terrific food.
He got it. She got it. They got it.
But really, ESPN Zone's a place where everybody, even grandma, can let loose. Booyah! Have fun.
Guys, dinner's ready. Pick it up later. Hey, Mike, dinner's ready. Brendan, Frank, Barron, let's go. Dinner's ready. Hey, guys, come on. Dinner's ready.
Is it all right if the Weasel stays for dinner?
Absolutely. Grab a chair, Weasel. Let's go.
Thanks, Mr. Nestler.
ABC Wednesday, it's Damon versus a 6-year-old. Show him, Damon. My wife and kids, ABC Wednesday.
Saba's touchdown has given Kansas State a 24-0 lead. And Jared Bright kicks off. Tumbling down to the 5 to Sherdanya Mitchell. And this qualifies as outstanding field position for Missouri as finally they get a kickoff back past the 20 out to the 27 where Marcus Patton made the tackle.
Taking a look back at the touchdown. Look at this, working as a dance team. It doesn't get any better than this. The offensive line, look at them shape the play. I mean, that's hat on hat, jersey on jersey. And Saba, he has the easiest job right there, just walking into the end zone. Once again, a great job by Mann to sealing his defender off on the perimeter.
3 wide receivers, and Brad Smith comes out throwing and has his man, Darius Outlaw, out to the 48-yard line. And a first down. Just the third of the game for Mizzou. The Pontiac drive summary. It was not a lengthy Saturday drive for the Tigers on this beautiful countryside. 6 punts, an interception, and they lost it on downs. Ouch. Gage comes in motion. He still has not caught a pass. And the pass way over the head of Darius Outlaw. Rashad Washington had the coverage with Terrence Newman. Outlaw has seen a lot of balls from Smith this year, in part because generally the opponents double Gage. And I think an example of how good he is, David, is even with a lot of double teaming, Gage has 80 catches. But that'll tell you what a good job Kansas State's done today because he hasn't caught a ball today.
And it's a tribute to Outlaw, too, that there's 80 catches accounted for by Gage because Outlaw is converted from that quarterback position and warranted the attention type of season he's had.
Blitz off the corner right in the face of Smith, and he throws over the head of Gage. One-on-one coverage from Newman. Newman had the upper hand in the one-on-one battles with Gage last year out in Manhattan. Yesterday we spoke with Coach Gary Pinkel about his terrific quarterback, Brad Smith.
He's got the intangibles that really make up the quarterback. You know, the instincts, the ability to make plays under pressure, the ability to lead a team. I mean, I've been around a lot of good quarterbacks. I've never been around a guy that has so many of these and working at such a high level within him at 18 years old. And I think he's got tremendous upside.
And did he step out of bounds as he threw that pass? The folks on the K-State sideline saying he did. The officials saying no, he did not. It's just an incomplete pass. Terry Pierce in pursuit forced the throw.
I think you saw this a little more clearly than the officials did.
Well, he was
no, maybe not. They're right on top of that. It's beg your pardon. Brad Smith keeps that right foot in bounds, throws the ball away, saves his punting team some yardage. Nonetheless, Kansas State's going to get the ball back once again.
Goschler, the star of the half for Missouri, punted 6 times in the first half for a 45-yard average. Of course, one of those was returned by Newman for a touchdown. Another terrific punt with no return. It bounces out of bounds at the 11. 42-yard punt and no return.
No, not in the frame. No, it's not a float. No.
What's not a?
No.
What do you mean? No, that's our float right there.
That's a float. That's a float.
No, that's not a float. No, that's fresh. You go hard.
These flowers and crepe paper. You don't float.
Flowers and crepe paper.
Big man. This is nice float. Looking good. Keep it up.
Thank you, Mr. Hey, Mr. Herbstreit likes this.
Mr. Game Boy's decision.
ESPN College Game Day, presented by Discover Card, Saturdays, 10:30 a.m.
Every Sunday on ESPN Classic, the greatest movies.
Would you like to play football with us inmates? We're going to play the guards.
About the greatest sports.
In my book, we're going to be winners.
Plus, you get real stories from real people.
I was playing for all the kids who never played.
Real actors with real moments.
The crew actually blew the tape because they started giggling.
Real classics where the world of sports and movies collide. Every Sunday night at 9 Eastern, only on ESPN Classic.
In 1954, in Junction, Texas, Paul Bear Bryant put 115 football players through hell.
We're going to work now.
You damn near killed my friend. saying.
He ain't quitting.
But those who survived lived to become champions.
One heartbeat. That is what we've been looking for ever since we arrived.
ESPN Original Entertainment presents The Junction Boys. Saturday, December 14th, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Pontiac, Fuel for the Soul. By Pepsi Blue, a fusion of berries with a splash of cola. It's a blue thing. And by the Office of National Drug Control Policy. Parents, the anti-drug. First and 10, Kansas State leading 24-0 here in the third quarter. On the delayed handoff to Darren Sproles. He goes ahead to the 13 for a gain of 2. Antoine Bynum and Sean Doyle made the tackle. Roberson has rushed for 63 yards. He's passed for 129. He has a man open. It's Terry behind the defense. James Terry out of bounds in Missouri territory all the way to the 31-yard line. Well, that is textbook Kansas State offense. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, and then throw it deep over your head. And that one's good for 56 yards.
This is a nice route by Terry, but there's nothing textbook about this throw. That's a big-time ball from L. Roberson. And, you know, when L. Roberson signed at Kansas State, and after the coaches got to look at him, I mean, look at that ball right there. They knew that he had Michael Bishop-type talent. And, you know, here in his junior year, he's starting to deliver. That was some kind of pass play, especially for a Kansas State offense.
Roberson appears to be changing the play. And he decides to keep it and pays the price for that decision. He got drilled to the ground by Russ Bell, defensive tackle. Monday night, Val Michaels and John Madden will be on hand to watch the 49ers play host to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles without Donovan McNabb. It'll be up to their defense to shut down Jeff Garcia and Terrell Owens. That's the Eagles and 49ers Monday night at 9, 6 Pacific. Bell, a 3-time track All-American, who came to the football coaches this fall and said, I want to play football. He started playing football and he's become a regular contributor. Roberson takes off but cannot fully escape. And he's down at the 27-yard line. Tackled by Sean Doyle.
You know, Sean, it's been very evident that both defenses for Missouri and Kansas State have focused on not letting the opposing quarterback run the football. Kansas State's done a great job of shutting down Brad Smith and his legs, and L. Roberson really hasn't had a chance to get on track, but it's basically been the field position and the ability for Kansas State to move the ball in the air and with the tailback that's been the difference in this football game.
3rd and 6. He rolls out, throws back, and the ball is dropped. He was throwing it to Thomas Barnett, the tackle, and a flag thrown. Apparently they thought he had reported as an eligible receiver, but the officials didn't think so. Now they're all going to confer, and Bill Snyder's way out on the field, and the officials are over there to tell him to get back.
They may wave this flag off.
He is hot, Coach Snyder. And the officials are still backing him up.
Now, you're right on top of it, Sean. That's exactly what Kansas State did. They wanted him to come in and report, and sometimes the message on the reporting doesn't always get across.
Meanwhile, Barnett with the ball ran all the way down near the 5-yard line and got tangled up with the Missouri Tiger, and there's another flag thrown down there for something after the play. Barnett and Tia Ellison. There's the flag at the 5.
Barnett made a smart play at the end of that pass play. Even though it fell incomplete, Barnett wasn't sure whether it was a lateral or not, so he covered the football and then he continued down the field.
Yeah, that's way after the whistles had stopped the play and the officials were conferring. Bill Snyder's very lucky he didn't get a flag thrown on him. He was all the way out to the numbers screaming at the officials.
They've got a number of issues to sort out here. First of all, was it an incomplete pass or a lateral? And then And then they can determine what the laundry's all about.
Illegal touching. An ineligible receiver touched a forward pass. Penalties declined. 4th down.
What was the other flag for? They threw the flag at the 5-yard line for the tussle. Apparently, they're just ignoring that one and picking it up.
Well, the net of it is this officiating crew is going to say that Barnett did not report in as an eligible receiver because it was clear that big number 65 was the intended receiver.
He might have been maintaining it was a lateral. In any event, it's 4th down and 6, and they're going to go for the 1st down. And the play clock is running out down to 3, 2, 1 when they just do get it off. Roberson under pressure, and he goes down back at the 38-yard line. Bynum and Bell combining on the sack. And K-State turns it over on downs. Minus 11 on the play, and perhaps some momentum for a Tiger team that could really use it.
And for the first time, L. Roberson really harassed in the pocket. And things cave in a hurry. Russ Bell, nice job on this set of downs. Antoine Bynum, and that could have easily been called a 5-yard face mask.
Smith, little pump fake, and then throwing deep, and Gage got his hands on it. And once again, he can't get anything done against Terrence Newman, who was running stride for stride with Gage, a 2-sport athlete here. He's been an important member of the basketball program. When the football seasons have ended, he's going to forego basketball when this football season's over to concentrate on football.
And he's made a lot of big plays, got a lot of mileage out of going up and battling defensive backs for the football, and he burned his redshirt year in game number 10 as a freshman, as a true freshman coming on to play quarterback. And kind of scary to think what that means to this football team to have Justin Gage back next year if they wouldn't have burned that red shirt, Sean.
What a shame. Zach Abram on 2nd and 10, stopped immediately by Corey White, a loss on the play of a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
That decision to take away his redshirt year, as we look at a snapshot here at Gage, was not made by this coaching staff.
He's set virtually every school record for wide receivers. From Jefferson City, just down the road from Columbia. Out of the gun. Smith, another deep ball for Gage, and it is incomplete again. Newman at perfect position. Well, Newman, the coach is billing him as a 1st-round draft pick, and you'd have to think he hasn't done anything to hurt that today.
Yeah, he went to John Saunders in New York earlier and saw Carson Palmer hook up with Kareem Kelly for the first touchdown against UCLA. Newman shut down Kareem Kelly. This Kansas State team shut down the Trojans earlier this year. And Newman, definitely the type of guy that NFL scouts are looking for. He can lock up man to man, and he has taken care of Justin Gage this afternoon.
Newman back at the 16-yard line, waiting for the punt from Goschler. He's angling it toward the sideline, then it goes out of bounds inside the 20. Good effort by the punter again, 43 yards with no return.
You are now entering ESPN.com. Action Sports Destination. ESPN.com. Hit it hard.
Can't imagine how big that was for Canada to win that gold medal, and we waited a long time, and now after 50 years that the gold medal's back, so that's
Tell
great.
me something. What kind of cheese you got there?
What kind of cheese?
Yeah, what kind of cheese?
American.
That's right. American cheese.
American
cheese. American cheese.
Feel what it's like when time is running out. The Pennsylvania Miners Story, a world premiere movie Sunday at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Well, not much to smile about for the home fans here in Columbia. Missouri trailing 24-0. Hopes of bowl eligibility growing more faint by the moment. Flag down before the snap.
Prior to the snap, ball start on the offense. It'll be a 5-yard penalty and remain first down.
In 1954, Bear Bryant took 115 football players into the desert of West Texas. Only a handful would ever play for him. The Junction Boys, the greatest sports story never told. Saturday, December 14th at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Did you read that book, The Junction Boys?
No, I haven't.
What a great book.
I'm sure I would have been able to hold up under that kind of coaching.
Roberson managed to escape and get out to the 22. Tackled by Marcus King. He had the 91-yard touchdown run last week against Nebraska, and he's grabbing at his lower left leg, perhaps a cramp. Only the second man ever to run for more than 90 yards and a touchdown against Nebraska. The other, the incomparable Gale Sayers of Kansas back in 1963.
It's definitely a cramp, and it looks like his calf is starting to tighten up on him. Unseasonably warm day for November in Columbia.
And Mark Dunn, the backup quarterback, is warming up.
Dunn got the first 4 starts for this Kansas State team and got into game number 4 against USC. Offense is Ron Hudson called it was floundering midway through the second quarter, and it's been all L. Roberson since.
Dunn's a senior from Brigham City, Utah. His dad played at BYU. Victor Mann close to the first down. He appears to have it at the 29-yard line. Jason Simpson made the tackle. And a redshirt freshman from Fort Worth has been actively involved in the offense today.
Yeah, and the offensive line has been pretty active as well. And this big offensive line working for Kansas State has allowed these quarterbacks to distribute the wealth. A lot of backs getting carries and a lot of backs picking up yardage.
Still Dunn at quarterback, and he's changing the play. Sproles bounces ahead to the 33. They put Sproles back into the game late in the game last week against Nebraska when Coach Snyder was informed that he had 85 yards rushing, needed 15 more for a 7th straight 100-yard game. So they put Sproles back in, and he wound up rushing 70 yards, carrying the ball 70 yards for a touchdown. They go way over the 100-yard mark. And perhaps the only person other than the Nebraska folks cheering against him was Bobby Elliott, the defensive coordinator for K-State. Here comes Sproles again. He's over 100 again this week now. Coach Elliott jokingly said we wanted to hold Nebraska under 200 yards, and if Sproles hadn't gone the distance, the offense would have stayed on the field. Nebraska wouldn't have got the ball back. And when he went 70, Nebraska got the ball back and wound up getting over 200 yards of offense for the game. 8 straight games now with 100 yards or more. And here's Roberson back into the game.
That's so impressive. 8 in a row, and nobody deserves it more than Sproles. I mean, he has an incredible work ethic on this football team in practice. And I think, I think there's a spot for him if he continues to mature. I think he's an NFL type guy.
And he has another first down out to the 45. Well, you're not going to see him pounding his chest or spouting off in the media. When we talked with Ron Hudson, the offensive coordinator, he said, I have not heard him say 10 words all year. talking about Sproles.
I was visiting with Ron Hudson at the hotel this morning. He said, "Hey, Darren, come over here and say hi to my friend." And of course, Ron Hudson was a coach of mine out at UCLA a long while ago. And Sproles, hard to believe he plays football at that size, but when you watch him on a football field with the pads on, and becomes pretty serious in a hurry.
Flag down before the snap.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. It'll be a 5 penalty and remain first down.
21 first downs for K-State and 3 for Missouri. Wow.
Yeah, that's it's called utter dominance, and 3 first downs for this Missouri team. And as we said, Gary Pinkel, big difference from this year as opposed to last year is when we played the big boys, we'd get blown out. This year they lost to Nebraska, Iowa State, Colorado, 7 points apiece, all 3 games. Hadn't been the case today.
Wildcats have had 9 penalties, but they've managed to overcome the flags. Sproles again, and Kinney made the tackle. Back at the 45-yard line. Sproles is a playmaker, and he's been making them all day today.
Great ability to stay low in the pad level, and nice change of direction ability. Boy, he sees a crease, he hits it.
Trying to throw it over their heads again, and they do to the tight end, Thomas Hill. Down to the 20-yard line. They'll mark it at the 19. As we mentioned, that is so typical of Kansas State. The Missouri coaches were talking about it. They run, 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 and then when they throw it, they usually try to throw it deep over your head after you creep up to stop the run. That one's good for 36.
Yeah, we saw the deep ball prior, a couple possessions ago to Terry, delivered down the field on a line, this time with touch. I mean, Hill had an underneath defender, a linebacker trailing him, and the air underneath the football dropped it in the second level. What a beautiful throw again by L. Roberson, and a pretty nice catch again by Hill getting down the field.
They're averaging 22 yards per completion today on the 10 completions for Roberson. He's 10 out of 17.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. It'll be a 5-yard penalty and remain first down.
And that's the 10th penalty. Tomorrow, join ABC Sports in Paris for the 4th stop of the ISU Grand Prix Series of figure skating. The USA's Sasha Cohn and Michael Weiss go for gold at Trophy Lalique. I know David will be watching. He loves figure skating. That's tomorrow at 1 Eastern, 2 Pacific on ABC Sports Championship Television.
I always fashion myself as a Renaissance man, Sean. Why don't you have you over sometime for some skating?
Victor Mann takes the handoff straight ahead.
Big question for Kansas State next year is, can they patch a couple holes in the offensive line, this dominant offensive line? They'll lose 3 seniors up front. If they can reload along the offensive front, they get Roberson back. Sproles is only a sophomore, and that could be a pretty picture for some teams in the Big 12 if they can keep rolling on offense the way they are this year. And Roberson, I think, is going to continue to mature. He's going to be big-time Heisman candidate next year.
Roberson, the late pitch. Sproles in trouble. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Good penetration by the Missouri defense. Horace Ferguson and Marcus King combining on the stop of Sproles. Both safeties up there around the line of scrimmage. Under a minute left in the 3rd quarter. We asked Bill Snyder the other day when we chatted about, is he a fan of a playoff system, because it's become very trendy the last couple of weeks to talk about if there was a playoff, Kansas State would be a candidate, a strong candidate, you think, to win a playoff. You had 8 teams, 12 teams, 16 teams, whatever it might be. Roberson throws, has a man open. Taco Wallace inside the 5, touchdown.
Touchdown, Kansas State.
23 yards, and it's 30-0.
Roberson has made all the throws.
Roberson.
Sean, when you have that kind of arm strength, you threaten a lot of different spots on the football field. That ball came out of the pocket quick and with some mustard on it. And Wallace, nifty job of moving the ball downfield and across the goal line for the touchdown. Nice job after the catch.
Joe Ream. Adds the extra point.
Kick is good.
28 seconds left in the third quarter. A touchdown by Wallace, his 4th of the year, caps an 82-yard drive. Sean McDonough, David Norrie. Back in Columbia, Missouri. Kansas State well on its way to its 5th win in a row. Its 10th win of the season overall, leading 31-0 in the final seconds of the third quarter. They have outgained Missouri now 460-88. Jared Bright to kick off to Sherdanya Mitchell and Tyrone Roberson. Low line drive kick. Fielded on the bounce by Mitchell. And again, they won't make the 20-yard line on a kickoff return as Paul O'Neill came flying down to make the tackle for Kansas State.
That kickoff coverage team has been major impact on this football game. I mean, they have gotten downfield and they have covered on this kick return game, done a great job.
Final game of the regular season for Kansas State and Missouri here in Columbia at Thoreau Field. Tough day for Brad Smith and the Missouri Tigers, hoping for the win that would get them to 6-6 in bowl eligibility. They've been dominated throughout. Outlaw runs out of bounds at the 25, 2 yards short of the first down. Josh Buell chased him out. In the Big 12 today, Oklahoma State bowl eligible now with the big win over Baylor. Wow, is that score correct? Connecticut won at Iowa State. My goodness. And Texas Tech and Oklahoma in the big one tonight in the Big 12 South. Wide receiver screen. Finally Gage has a catch, but it's for a loss of a yard on the play. And that'll be the final play of the third quarter. ABC Sports presentation of college football will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
ABC Sports Championship Television.
Tracy. Tracy.
What?
What's the story? How about a little hustle?
How about taking it easy?
You think the world revolves around you?
I got a lot of teeth to brush.
You're another pampered athlete. That's... Wally, no! No! Zerbiak! Zerbiak, get out here!
There's a line.
The ESPN.com players.
Let's talk about sports.
Gosh, Bob, sports talk is so darn serious.
Sports are serious, yes.
I know a place where sports aren't so serious.
Where's that?
Page 2 at ESPN.com. Page 2 is full of columns about the funny stuff in sports. Hey, where are you going?
Home. I don't want page 2 to be the one that got away.
Every Sunday on ESPN Classic, the greatest movies.
Would you like to play football with us inmates? We're going to play the guards.
About the greatest sports.
In my book, we're going to be winners.
Plus, you get real stories from real people.
I was playing for all the kids who never played.
Real actors with real moments.
The crew actually blew the take because they started giggling.
Real classics where the world of sports and movies collide. Every Sunday night at 9 Eastern, only on ESPN Classic.
You're watching ABC Sports, the class of college football.
K-State trying to keep that string intact. Not allowed a touchdown in the fourth quarter of their last 7 games. Smith runs for a first down on the first play of the fourth quarter. And there's Bob Elliott in the middle of your screen there, the defensive coordinator for Kansas State. What a great job he's done in his first year here as defensive coordinator. He came over from Iowa State, where he served as associate head coach to Dan McCarney. He was there for 2 years after a long run at Iowa. Many believed he was the heir apparent to Hayden Fry when Coach Fry decided to retire. Flea flicker. Roberson threw it back to Smith, has a man open. Gage. It took some trickery to finally get him free from Terrence Newman. And the play goes all the way to the 15-yard line. 56 yards on the reception by Gage.
For this play to work, you got to have a great sell on the fake. And Justin Gage selling his blocking, coming into the inside, made it look like he was going to crack back inside, takes it up, and even though this was a great hookup between quarterback and wide receiver, what a job by Newman recovering and saving the touchdown.
Second catch for Gage. They've come in the last couple of moments. Pump fake and a throw to the corner of the end zone. Gage again, incomplete. Newman had the coverage. Gage thought he had a touchdown. The officials say he was out of bounds.
Yeah, this was almost the same kind of catch that Gage made in the corner of the end zone against Colorado earlier this year. And that heartbreaking overtime loss to the Buffaloes. With his size, 6'4", can go up for the football. And Newman, look at Newman stripping with the right hand. See if that
that's a touchdown.
That right foot comes in.
Yeah, that's a bad call.
Yeah, and it looked like he had possession of the football all the way there.
Roberson chopped down in the open field by Bobby Walker, the senior from Tyler, Texas. Just to finish the story about Bobby Elliott, right about the time Hayden Fry was to retire as head coach at Iowa, Elliott was stricken with blood cancer, very serious health problems, had to undergo a bone marrow transplant, left coaching for a year. When he came back, there'd been the coaching change at Iowa with Kirk Ferentz taking over. And Elliott, trying to get back into coaching, wound up at Iowa State with Dan McCarney. Smith pushed out of bounds, shy of the 10-yard line. Crowd wanted to call for a late hit. Tank Reese made the tackle.
Let's take one more look at the great play by Gage. The right foot's down. And there's some green between the sideline and that white shoe, and it looks like he secures the football. Newman trying to strip with the right hand. Took one away from Gary Pinkel and his troops.
Pinkel was not happy with the officiating last week at Texas A&M when his team was penalized 14 times. They were averaging 6 penalties per game going into that game. Penalized only 3 times today. Smith throws for Gage again. Will they give him that one? Touchdown! Flag down.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. It'll be a yard penalty and remain 4th down.
Justin Gage starting to wonder what it's going to take for him to get credit for 6 points. Same route, fade to the left side. Nice job by Gage to create some separation. I mean, he beat Newman on this play, and this is a consummate one-on-one matchup down on the goal line on the fade route. And Gage ran the better route, beat Newman, Unfortunately, the false start takes the 6 right back down off the board.
Smith runs out of bounds, and K-State takes over on downs. So they still have not given up a touchdown in the fourth quarter, although they had a little help from the officials to keep that streak intact. 7 games in a row without a touchdown in the fourth quarter. They've only given up 2 touchdowns all year in the fourth, and that was against USC as the Trojans tried to come back late against K-State, but the Wildcats held on for a 27-20 victory in the fourth game of the season for Coach Snyder's team.
It's a good opportunity to teach your young quarterback there, though. On a 4th down situation, you don't want to just run out of bounds. Put the ball up. I mean, it is a 31-0 game here, so no harm really to Brad Smith in Missouri. But when a game is on the line, you want to teach your young quarterback as he matures to at least give a wide receiver a chance to make a play in the end zone.
Victor Mann, the ball carrier. Zatia Ellison made the tackle. Let's hope Bobby Elliott does get that chance to be a head coach sometime. He has a terrific resume, an outstanding coach, as he's proving here, filling in for Phil Bennett, who moved on to a head coaching opportunity. They had great defenses under Bennett, and they have a great defense this year under Coach Elliott. Roberson keeps, spins near a first down. They actually have 2 coordinators at K-State, Ron Hudson too. Both of these guys, Hudson and Elliott, are great candidates to be head coaches. See what it's like when time is running out. ABC presents a world premiere movie, The Pennsylvania Miners Story. That's tomorrow at 9, 8 Central, right here on ABC.
Yeah, you bring up Ron Hudson, of course. He's had a great run here. There he is right there. 7 years, 7th year as offensive coordinator. And what a job has he done. I mean, this is an offensive juggernaut. Working the controls up there. And a lot to look forward to with Roberson and Sproles coming back next year.
You have to love the effort of the K-State backs, too. You need to do everything you can to get them on the ground. They're not going to go down at any first sign of contact. That was Ayo Saba picking up the first down out at the 37-yard line.
It was an important milestone as we look at the big guys work up front. Important milestone last week. It wasn't the first time this Kansas State program has beaten Nebraska, but to beat Nebraska the way they did last week, I mean, that was a style of victory that Nebraska used to paste on Kansas State over the years, and the way this Wildcat team dominated the Huskers a week ago was really a statement for this program.
Subs in now, Dunn back in at quarterback, and it's Saba again, the ball carrier. Speaking of the subs being in, you think of all the years that Nebraska just pounded K-State when the Wildcats were just about defensive. After the game last week, the biggest win ever for K-State against Nebraska, the final score 49-13. Coach Snyder was asked by a student newspaper reporter if he was running it up by leaving his starters in late in the game. There are a lot of K-State fans who thought that day would never come when their coach would be asked about running it up against Nebraska. And Coach Snyder just ignored the question.
In true Bill Snyder fashion.
Saba the ball carrier again. Well, I think a mark of how far this program has come when they did post that rousing lopsided win at home in Manhattan last week. They didn't rip down the goalposts. They acted like they've been there before, because they have. It's 3 trips in a row for Nebraska into the Little Apple, after which they've departed with a loss. Saba, first down run in the Mizzou territory. At the 46-yard line, Henry Sweat made the tackle. Those might be the final numbers of the day for Roberson. It does not appear that Roberson will return. Great passing day for him, 244 yards. He averages just 112 passing yards per game. That's a little bit below his average of 90 yards per game rushing.
That's characteristic of this offense. So when you have success on the ground, you're not going to have a lot of passing attempts, but you're going to go for big chunks on play action. And 244 yards on 11 completions, I'd call those chunks big ones.
Well, the tight formation, they're just trying to run out the clock now. Nick Hoheisel, the ball carrier, for a short gain. The Pacific Life game summary. And Sproles, the first offensive touchdown of the game for the Kansas State Wildcats. Now Saba scored on a 3-yard touchdown run. And on a nice run after the catch by Taco Wallace. And now it's Mark Dunn at quarterback. The late pitch. Saba near another first down. And the clock continues to run down to 9.5 minutes left.
There's no doubt, Sean, that we're going to see a couple undefeated teams, at least most likely in the championship game. But when you talk about the most complete team in the country in all 3 phases of the football game, I haven't seen a better team in Kansas State.
Well, that goes back to what we were talking about before the touchdown interrupted us. Coach Snyder's comments about a playoff. He said he was never a proponent of the playoff system until a few years ago when he felt like the BCS alignment didn't treat him very well. They didn't go to anywhere near as high profile bowl as they felt they should have years ago. Saba carries again. We'll get back to the point in a moment. First, we want to tell you about Friday, a great football doubleheader. It starts at noon and then at 3:30. It's Colorado and Nebraska following Texas A&M in Texas. Bill Snyder says now he was in favor before of preserving the bowls, and he liked the BCS within the bowl structure. But after they got mistreated, he felt a few years ago with their bowl assignment, he's leaning toward a playoff. If they had a playoff right now, everything his team would have just about as good a chance as anybody.
They'd be tough, and you know, I can understand Snyder being bitter after that '98 season, going 2 overtimes in a Big 12 championship game against A&M, really just seconds away from going to the national championship game, and he ends up in the Alamo Bowl. And there were 3 other one-loss teams that year too: UCLA, Arizona, Ohio State, and of course UCLA had the big loss down at Miami. But you know, to play in that national title game, as we said, you got to have luck and you've got to convert. And oftentimes you've got to be undefeated. In Kansas State, just inches away from getting that done back in 1998.
And second and long, movement along the line.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. It'll be a 5-yard penalty and remain second down.
There's the BCS top 10 today. On Thursday night, Miami won. Ohio State beat Michigan today. Notre Dame a winner over Rutgers. USC with a healthy lead against UCLA. Michigan losing the battle with Ohio State. And Kansas State on its way to victory. Florida State trailing North Carolina State.
Washington State with a tall order comes up with a win against Washington tonight, and then UCLA next week. We also need Virginia Tech to come up big against Miami if the Cougars are going to have a chance to line up against Ohio State.
Timeout called by Kansas State. Midway through the 4th quarter.
Yeah, just keep him locked up in the trailer.
ESPN College Game Day, presented by Discover Card, Saturdays, 10:30 a.m.
ESPN's NFL Primetime. The whole day in football packed into one show.
Oh, that wacky AFC. And he gets him!
Chris Berman and Tom Jackson. All the score, stats, and highlights.
He could go off.
Every game, every finish.
This is a ball club with great balance.
If you missed it, if you saw it, if you just gotta see it again.
And he makes the catch!
Wow.
NFL Primetime, 7:30 Eastern, Sundays on ESPN.
I'm Max Kellerman. I want to tell you about my new show, Around the Horn. The idea is simple. People here think the people here don't know anything about sports. And the people here hate all the teams from here. Around the Horn is going to bring sports experts from here, and here together in a daily discussion about who's better than who and who knows more. And I'm keeping score.
Around the Horn, a full-contact sports show. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on ESPN.
Fast. What if you were trapped in a sinking car, in a towering inferno, in your family's worst nightmare? Would you know how to survive? Take the Ultimate Survival Challenge Monday.
Back in Columbia after the timeout by K-State. Second down and 18 for the Cats. And Mark Dunn is going to change the play. Deep drop, he throws. Incomplete. Got his signals crossed, but the receiver, James Terry. Michael Harden, the defender nearest the ball. And it'll be third down and long.
Some people may be wondering why the passing game is late in the ball game, up 31-0, but Mark Dunn's the type of guy, and you get Roberson running the football as much as he does. You get that number one quarterback banged up, knocked down. Mark Dunn has to be fresh with some game time experience under his belt, and this is often the time to get it.
He was the National Junior College Player of the Year in the year 2000 at Ricks College in Idaho.
Substitution infraction on the offense, 5-yard penalty, it remains third down.
He threw for over 4,300 yards in 2000, and then came to K-State last year, got into 9 games. He's an older player, 24 years old. He's a Mormon, went on a 2-year church mission before going to junior college and then transferred here. He's married to the former Elizabeth May. And it looks like he's changing the play again on third down and 23. No rush. Going deep for Wallace, and he has it. Touchdown, Taco Wallace. A terrific throw by Dunn. "46 yards on the touchdown. And the fans, and there are a lot of them who've made about the 4.5-hour drive over from Manhattan, are enjoying this one. A lot of the fans have left. 47,570 attendance today. The purple-clad Wildcat fans are hanging around and enjoy every second of this one.
Done so much time in the pocket. I mean, he was counting the house on that play, and Missouri secondary pretty slow to react to the ball in the air.
Secondary suspect, and even against a team that is predominantly a running team, they've had difficulty again being victimized through the air.
This is what it feels like to play in the NBA.
NBA 2K3.
ABC Sport presentation of college football brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. By Miller Lite, life is best told at a place called Miller Time. And by Taco Bell, think outside the bun. From Taco Bell to Taco Wallace. His touchdown has padded the lead for K-State. Kickoff down to Tyrone Roberson. He managed to sneak across the 20 to the 24-yard line. Tackled by Carlos Alsop.
For the extra point and the win. Quit moving your hands.
What's the matter, Tom? A little pressure?
Quit it.
Snow.
Green Bay.
December.
Lambeau Field.
Come on, pull the trigger. Let's go, Jackson. Pull the trigger, man.
All right, just...
Get a choke? Oh, I guess not.
Sunday NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
Come on, Skunky.
He was in my garage drinking paint.
Get in here. I'm sorry. This is not going to happen again. Come on. You can do this.
Be there for the three-pointers, the in-your-face dunks, and the spectacular buzzer beaters. With the ESPN Full Court College Basketball Pay-Per-View package, you get maximum college basketball with more than 450 additional games from top conferences and coverage of the first 2 rounds of the NCAA Women's Tournament. Will you be there? The ESPN Full Court College Basketball Pay-Per-View package. To order, call your local cable company, DirecTV at 1-800-DirecTV or Dish Network at 1-800-333-DISH.
Dinotopia, the series, premieres Thanksgiving night at 8/7 Central on ABC.
All K-State. The touchdown by Wallace has made it 38-0. Missouri begins 1st and 10 from its own 24. 2 TDs today for Wallace.
Beautiful play on that ball from Dunn.
Brad Smith. And a nice block to get a little extra time to fire it out to midfield, incomplete. Intended for Ben Frederickson.
Let's take a look at the catch once again, and look at him go up high. Wrestle the ball away in midair. Looking against Marcus King, the free safety. King a little bit slow to get over. The second TD catch in both plays, both touchdowns. Beautiful.
Last time the Tigers were shut out was in 1999 by Kansas State. That was up in Manhattan. The last time they were shut out here at home was in 1992. Abram with nothing doing, a loss on the play. That was 6-0 to Colorado. Now here at Missouri, as you know, David, they have a tradition. The members of the Army ROTC program, the cadets, they fire off the cannon after any Missouri score. Touchdown, field goal, doesn't matter. It's a tradition that dates back to the early 1900s. Well, no action for the cannon today. Might be the first time in 10 years they haven't been able to shoot that thing, fire that thing in a home game.
It's kind of like a ceasefire, isn't it? When it's shut out.
They're ready to go, though. Standing by. Smith going deep and out of bounds. Looking for Gage. Newman blanketing him again. Time permitting, the Thrifty Car Rental postgame show will come your way, featuring scores and highlights from across the country. I think the way this is going, there might be time. I think we'll have some scores and highlights and bonus college football coverage here today.
Just let us send it back to New York.
Don't want to promise anything, but I think there's a chance. Thrifty could see air tonight. New punt return man is Derek Evans. This will be the 9th punt of the day for Goschler. Maybe getting a little leg weary. One of his worst punts of the day. Evans caught it at the 40, and he's into Mizzou territory at the 46. 14-yard return of a 37-yard punt.
The games that became classics. The athletes that became legends. The moments that became history. They're all on ESPN Classic. Explore the best in sports history through programs that take you inside the game, the life, the moment like no one else can. Call your cable or satellite provider and experience ESPN Classic.
Hi, everybody. Dick Vitale. Hey, December 17th, the Continental Airlines Arena, the Jimmy Dean Classic. Gonzaga against North Carolina State at 7 p.m., 9 p.m., Cincinnati and Oregon with their great 1-2 punch, Luke Jackson and Luke Rittenauer. Hey, log on to Ticketmaster now for tickets or call 201-507-8900 or 212-307-7171. Hey, portion of the proceeds benefits the B Foundation for Cancer Research. It's going to be awesome, baby.
and some mustard and chives and black pepper and red pepper and white pepper and some Cajun spices, and I put it all together and everything. So I really hope you like it. And the brownies in particular, I went and I made, you know, and I got the
ESPN College Game Day, presented by Discover Card, Saturdays, 10:30 a.m.
The Nissan Drive summary, an impressive half of offense for Kansas State. Every possession they've had the ball at least 7 plays. They've had 3 touchdown drives of better than 80 yards, 82 twice and 86 once. And on 1st and 10, the loss on the handoff to Carlos Alsop, the redshirt freshman from Liberal, Kansas. He was tackled by Russ Bell. Loss of 3 on the play. They've run 78 plays today as compared to 47 for Missouri.
Also on the last carry, tackled by Bell, loss of 3.
Total yardage is 553 to 161. Dunn running the option. Also, he's trying to stay in bounds. Loses a couple more back to the 48-yard line. Russ Bell and Jason Simpson made the tackle. Simpson's from an athletic family. His mother is the assistant athletic director and basketball coach at the Woodlands High School near Houston, where Jason attended high school as well.
3rd and 15.
3rd and long, 3rd down and 15 for Kansas State. After this one, they'll wait to find out what their bowl fate might be. Mizzou will not go bowling this year. They're hoping to go for the first time since 1998. Cotton Bowl, the Holiday Bowl, the Alamo Bowl, the most popular guesses as to the possible bowl destination of the Wildcats. Victor Mann, the ball carrier, and Sean Doyle, the tackler. K-State content just to get this one over with, keeping the ball on the ground. Certainly can't be accused of running it up. Here are the bowl tie-ins. Of course, the champion will go to the big BCS Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Holiday Bowl, Alamo Bowl, all possibilities. Not likely to fall all the way down to the Tangerine Bowl. The punt is blocked. Blocked by Antoine Bynum. Rick Gurla was the punter. The rest of the bowl affiliations, the tie-ins, the Tangerine Bowl, the Houston Bowl, the Independence Bowl, the Humanitarian Bowl. So even when they have a punt block that goes fairly well for Kansas State, it managed to go across the line of scrimmage down to the 27-yard line. Just the 2nd punt of the day, and the 1st for Gurla. Travis Brown handled the 1st one.
I don't expect to get that type of punt rush. 38 zip score in the 4th quarter, but a nice play by Bynum nonetheless.
T.J. Leon, the ball carrier for Missouri. They'll keep it on the ground. They seem content now to bring a halt to the festivities, take their beating, and look toward the future, which you still have to think, despite this one, David, is very bright. No question that Gary Pinkel's bringing more talent to this program. They have much of their nucleus back next year. Their entire starting offensive line. Smith and Abram will both be back. Most of the defense comes back as well. Here's Leon again. Senior from Norman, Oklahoma. Playing in his final game. He missed all of the 2000 season with a broken ankle. TJ's sister was also a terrific athlete. She was a sprinter, 2-time letter winner at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll talk about Gary Pinkel, Sean, and bright days ahead. It's a tough league, Big 12. All the teams: Colorado, Nebraska, Iowa State, A&M, Oklahoma. Up and down this league. Not a very easy job to turn around any program. It's a season for Gary Pinkel, especially the way he played the top teams this year. Much tighter than a year ago, but going to end this one on a down note. Kind of the same way that last year's season ended, when they got controlled up at East Lansing against Michigan State. Brad Smith, I think, is a difference. He's going to be the guy that they will build this program around in the days ahead. And I think he's the type of quarterback, if they can keep him around here for 2 or 3 years, I think Gary Pinkel really has something to work with.
Another 10-win season for Kansas State. It'll be the 7th time in school history that they've done that. (1910, 1995, 97, 98, 99, 2000, and now 2002. Of course, they had the 4 years in a row of 11 wins, 97 through 2000, back to 6-6 last year. With now 10 wins and a chance for an 11th in a bowl game. Brad Smith picked up the first down to 2:20 in the clock running remaining.
Talk about the great depth and the great quality up and down this Big 12 conference. One thing Gary Pinkel can rely on is looking back on this year and having leads in the 4th quarter against Colorado, Oklahoma, playing Nebraska down to the wire. Those are things that you can build upon.
Everly made the tackle on Smith.
Missouri came into this game with the game plan of throwing the football and getting some yardage in 1st and 2nd down, but really based upon Brad Smith's ability to get the ball down the field and have some success in the passing game, and they have not been able to do it. And as a result, this offense has been stalled.
Here's Leon with some running room. He has a first down out to midfield. Nice run by Leon. Marcus Patton made the tackle. The Chevrolet players of the game are Terrence Newman for Kansas State. Did a great job all day covering against Justin Gage. Had the punt return for a touchdown and an interception in the game. And for Missouri, the punter. Todd Goschler punted 9 times for a 44-yard average. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
Not a good day when your punter is the player of the game.
I think that's a good choice, though. He was their best player.
Have to ice him down in the locker room after this one.
1 minute to go. For Brad Smith, a terrific season individually. He said yesterday when we talked with him, he'd give himself a C. I think most people would think he deserves a much better grade than that. Hasn't been a great day today. But he'll keep getting better and better. Gary Pinkel talks about his tremendous work ethic. Coach Pinkel said he'd be driving by here in the wintertime, spring, summer, and frequently late at night, 10 o'clock at night. He'd look in the indoor facility that they have here, the lights beyond. He'd go in there and it'd be Smith throwing footballs into trash cans that he had scattered around the room. Working on his throwing, always working. This is likely to be another shutout for Kansas State. It'll be their 3rd of the year. Louisiana Monroe, Kansas, and Missouri if they can complete the job here. And shutouts are nothing new for this defense. During the Snyder era, they have posted a shutout in each of the last 9 seasons. At least one shutout in each of those years.
Sean, they're going to look back at this year, and when they look at the statistics over the course of this 12-game season, this is going to be one of the dominant statistical seasons that we've seen not only at Kansas State but in the history of this conference. I mean, what a year for Coach Bill Snyder. Oh, so close to playing in a BCS contest.
7 points from an undefeated season. Instead, the regular season ends at 10-2. For Missouri, it ends at 5-7. Once again, the final score: Kansas State 38, Missouri nothing. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. Now John Saunders in Times Square Stadium.
play action fake, held that outside blitz. The safety's coming up, had to respect the run. That gave Van Pelt time, and then there was no underneath coverage, so nobody underneath that curl.
Cecil Sapp yet to get a carry. He's got one here. Sapp, turf toe and all, motors inside the 15, down to the 12. Interesting stat about Sapp is over half of his yardage picked up this season has come after the initial hit by the defense.
Well, he's so strong, and then in addition to that, he has tremendous balance. You try to teach young running backs, always keep your feet moving. You're less likely to get hurt. You'll pick up extra yards. Well, Sapp is a perfect model of that. You look in the middle of a pile, you always see his feet chopping and moving, and he's spinning and fighting for extra yardage. Very rarely do you knock Cecil Sapp backwards on a running play.
2nd down and 7. Van Pelt to Childs, and Childs upended at the 10. He falls forward to the 9. Black on the stop for New Mexico. The Lobos right now, Blaine, like a heavyweight